A developing story we're following, Amazon's. We told you about the story earlier this week. Their personal assistant device, Echo, is powered by the voice recognition program Alexa, and it was one of the most popular gifts this holiday season. But this week, the device grabbed some headlines for another reason. Police in Arkansas, they're trying to use the data in that device in a murder investigation, essentially being a witness in a murder case. Authorities say while the device is not technically a voice recorder, it does come with a virtual assistant who users actually can speak with, meaning it could hold some clues. And so Amazon, right now though, refusing to comply with the search warrant. Let's check in with our legal expert, Whitney Boan. Whitney, always great to have you here with us. These new devices that we're all getting in our houses, like back when we all first got computers, nobody knew that that little camera on the front of your computer was recording basically everything you were doing. And when we finally realized it, you know, we all made some changes to our lives, I suppose. These Amazon Echoes, they're recording an awful lot of what's going on in our house, and that's how they want to use that. Is that legal? Can they do that?
Well, I mean, this is one of those situations where it's much like when we got our computers and we signed up for iTunes and we got our iPhones. You got to read the small print. I mean, to some extent, I don't think that Amazon wants people to know exactly that they're doing that, because obviously that doesn't sound good and it would make people maybe less likely to buy them. But I do think that it's legal for them to do it depending on the terms that they've set forth when you buy it and you sign up for the services that come with it. I don't know. I think that it's probably fair game. It's just frightening is all. But
I guess, and there's a certain amount of, you know, you're never compelled to testify against yourself. So if you invite something into your house and you accept the terms of whatever it is that you purchased and brought it in, you're accepting the fact that it is recording. So that's how they get around you not testifying against yourself. Is that about a correct assessment?
Well, I mean, in terms of you not being required to testify against yourself, that deals within a court of law. Actually, I mean, if you make a statement to me and it's incriminating and you're the subject of a criminal prosecution, but it's outside the courtroom and you just tell me something, that statement can be used against you. The issue here is whether or not you have some expectation of privacy with the Echo, which I think Amazon comes from the perspective probably of, well, we're not just disseminating this information, we just keep it for our own quality control purposes or whatever. Where it becomes a bigger issue is where you have the government seeking to get that information like you do in this murder investigation in Arkansas. Then you no longer necessarily have that expectation of privacy that you maybe thought that you had, because the government has the ability to go after it in theory and get the information anyways.
Okay, well, let me ask you about how Amazon is handling this, because as of right now, they're giving the government the Heisman, right? Saying, no, you're not going to get that information. How long can they keep up that fight before they'll be compelled to turn that info over?
My guess is that they're probably not going to be able to keep that up long term, especially on the facts of that particular case in Arkansas, which involves a murder investigation where they already have a suspect. It's going to be different if police start wanting to do the equivalent of wiretapping, let's say, and they want to have access to your Echo while you're using it, as opposed to they're already having proof that some crime was potentially committed and there already being some ongoing investigation that has resulted in charges. I think in this situation, depending on the wording of it, Amazon's probably going to have to give it up unless somehow the wording's overly broad in the warrant in a way that it's just not feasible for them to be able to produce what the court is requiring them to do.
Let me finally broad scope this thing here, because the loss of our civil liberties usually doesn't come in large chunks. It comes nickel.
Exactly.
And so these are all the things that we really all need to be very aware of, for sure, careful of, and take steps if we really want to protect our civil liberties.
I would say caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Right.
In other words, if you want to play, you got to pay. So I mean, that's kind of how it works.
All right. Whitney, always great to see you.
Thanks.